Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hello everyone. We are from group KIM1141C, and for this short video we will present about a museum. Before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Abzal Baker Anwar, and my student ID is 2022486064. Do you all want to know my group members? Let's see together.
Hi and Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Nur Alisha binti Muhammad Azriza. My matrix number is 2022647094. I am the next member in my group. Actually, we have a few more members in our group. So let's move on to the next member.
Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Saidatul Balkis binti Zakaria. My matric number is 2022482642.
My name is Nur Iman Nadira binti Muhammad Talha. My matric number is 2022810602.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Aisha Amana binti Aswira Siswadi. My number matric is 2022495162.
You guys know what is museum? Alright, let me introduce to you guys about it. So, let's go.
A museum is a not-for-profit institution that concerns and manages tangible and intangible heritage. Museum cares for a displays a collection of artifacts and other objects of artistic, cultural, historical, or scientific importance. The purpose of the museum is to collect, preserve, interpret, and display objects of artistic and cultural.
For your information, there is several types of museum. First is Natural History and Natural Science Museum. Second is Art Gallery or Art Museum. Third is a Science and Technology Museum, and the last one is History Museum. Alright, today we will explain to you guys about information service and technical service in information agency, which is museum. Okay, first let's look at accession in museum.
A museum normally has a collecting policy for new acquisition, so only objects in certain categories and of a certain quality are accepted into the collection. In addition, museums may acquire objects for their collection through several ways, including donation, bequest, purchase, transfer, exchange, and field collecting. They also may find desired artifacts in the hands of individual collectors, antique dealers, or auction houses. The curators do background research on artifacts before purchase to make sure that the artifacts are authentic and in a good condition, that the price being asked is appropriate.
Alright guys, I think that's all from me. Let me pass to the next group member. Bye!
Now, I'm your next presenter. Technical services in museum documentation. When the artifact has been accepted in the collection, begin an execution file. An ideal file would include the following. First, a copy of the temporary receipt. The temporary receipt is the detail about the donor or the seller. Next, a deed of gift. A deed of gift is the document that legally transfers ownership of an artifact from the donor to the museum. It is legal and binding and cannot be reserved if the donor changes his or her mind after signing it. One copy is kept on file at the museum. A second copy is provided to the donor. Furthermore, a photograph of the artifact, biography or history about or of the donor, history of the object worksheet, and the last one is condition report or conservation records. Next one is technical services in museum finding aids. Museum created finding aids in order to the staff and the researching public to easily find the object. Museum collection are normally catalogued in collection catalogue, traditionally in card index but nowadays in computerized database. It contains the following information. Accession number in the terminus system. So what is the accession number? I give you the example. 23rd.03, meaning that in 2015 the item came in the museum. It was the 23rd is a donation or purchase, and the third artifact in a multi-page donation. Next is a nomenclature, object name and classification or the other identification. Date of execution taken from the temporary receipt. Next is the date of transfer, legal title taken from the date of gift. The object complete three-dimensional measurement. Okay, the description of the object written with enough detail that the artifact can be visualized. For example, color, material, function, and so on. Next one is marking, the marker of the object. In general terms, marking are symbols, names, or other identifiers. Marking may also refer for the stamping of inventory numbers on object when recording them. Donor provenance, the story behind the object, and the last one is location, where the object is stored or on display. That's all for me. Thank you.
In museology, preservation covers all the operations involved when an object enters a museum. Preservation, or more accurately, preventive conservation, is the practice of maintaining artifacts by providing a stable storage or display environment in order to minimize further damage or deterioration. With accurate and efficient care provided, museums can really only slow the process of deterioration. The first procedure to preserve and care for the museum is controlling the bright and UV levels. The bright and UV levels are damaging to the collections. The bright and UV should be controlled, so in order to protect the collections, traditional lights should be prohibited to be used because it can damage the exhibit in museum very quickly. Therefore, the museum must use LED lightings as it is created with no IR and UV lights that makes it ideal for sensitive environment. Other than that, it provides superior color rendering index (CRI) compared to other light sources. Next, the temperature and humidity. Extreme changes in temperature and humidity must be always avoided. For mixed collection, a non-fluctuating relative humidity above 25% and below 65% is recommended. Many museums have set their relative humidity at 45% and gallery temperatures between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Lowering the temperature greatly increases the longevity of collections. Always use stable materials when boxing artifacts. Next, all boxes should be made of acid-free. Museums should have a routine schedule of basic cleaning that includes cleaning, sweeping, vacuuming, and eliminating clutter, stuff, and trash. An integrated pest management system (IM) should be utilized by museums to control pests. Then, object safety also include providing appropriate security and planning for disasters and other threats, and making sure that museum staff are trained in proper handling procedures. Conservation. Interventive conservation is the practice of mitigating further deterioration. Conservation as performed by a professional conservator may mean specialized cleaning or the removal of agents that cause damage. The goal is to treat an artifact so that it can be gently handled, safely stored or displayed without further risk of damage. A museum's prime responsibility must be to maintain its collection and to do everything possible to delay the natural laws of deterioration. Conservation involves the treatment and, where feasible and acceptable, the restoration of objects as nearly as possible to their former condition. Most large museums have their own laboratories where preservation and restoration work is carried out, and some take on projects for other museums as well. Conservation. Interventive conservation is the practice of mitigating further deterioration. Conservation as performed by a professional conservator may mean specialized cleaning or the removal of agents that cause damage. The goal is to treat an artifact so that it can be gently handled, safely stored or displayed without further risk of damage. A museum's prime responsibility must be to maintain its collection and to do everything possible to delay the natural laws of deterioration. Conservation involves the treatment and, where feasible and acceptable, the restoration of objects as nearly as possible to their former condition. Most large museums have their own laboratories where preservation and restoration work is carried out, and some take on projects for other museums as well.
I will present about the information services in museum. First of all, we will comment on the exhibition. An exhibition is a corner or gallery that displays a wide variety of old items such as an artifact. There is no standard designs or layouts for exhibition gallery spaces in museums. Exhibition design plans will always vary from topic to topics and space to space. However, there are a few rules to follow. First, keep the topic in mind when considering design elements. 2. Make the space user-friendly for all customers, including those with physical limitations, children, the elderly, and the large groups. Remember security issues for clients and security issue for artifacts. Labels should be easy to read and simple. The design should enhance the artifact without disturbing the visitor and pleasing the artifact. The second information services is research. The one important use of museum is to extract as much knowledge as possible from the specimen. Many museums publish scholarly journals, series of papers, and books to make available the result of research on their collection. Museum collections do not exist purely for all consumptions of curious visitors. Although the public are hugely important to the life of a museum, collections can also contribute invaluable information to research. Collection-based research can expand the limits of knowledge, reappraise and revise existing knowledge, identify and investigate topic for exhibition, and provide tips and breadth to information about the collections. This guide will outline the most important aspect of collections research, including advocating for the importance of research, devising research policy to provide guidance and to ensure that research has a place in the way the museum is run, creating a research strategy within a museum long-term plan, bringing structure, planning, and executions to that strategy. And the last one is resource to carry out the plan. Why is the research important? Collection research is vitally important, yet it is often stymied when people do not understand its relevance. Museums need to be at the forefront of advocating the importance of research truth, making it visible and demonstrating its impacts to funder, manager, sponsor, and most importantly, the public.
Thank you, Fakhrul. And last but not least, did you guys know that museum is also provide for educational? And how did museum can benefit to the public? Museum provides educational program or initiative such as staff visit to school, school outreach via touring exhibits, student-led exhibits or tour, and last but not least, future professional development. In conclusion, museums function as a community center and serve an important role to public and cultural life of their society. Museum is a place where people meet, gain knowledge, learn, experience the evolution of human history and cultural heritage. Besides, the benefits that you can get while visiting the museums are it will help you to build communication or listening skill, get access to a trusted source of knowledge, and encourage you to ask questions. One purpose of museum is to store knowledge. However, museums also must be organizations that engage in creating and producing knowledge and new knowledge. and by this, they are continuously of importance. To be able to produce new knowledge, museums must engage in networks with artists and researchers, so to produce an artistic research. Thank you.